There's two ways of becoming a coaster enthusiast. The first way is by simply always loving coasters. You've just rode them for as long as you can remember. Or there's the other way. This second way is being terrified of coasters up until you conquer one ride. And once you ride that one ride, everything changes. You can, and will, ride anything. Well, I was scared of roller coasters, but I found my special ride. Batman is one of the rides that gets made fun of for the sole reason it's a clone. They're great rides, but they're all over the place. We get tired of riding them. However, I have only ridden one, and I think that's a great thing. I can only judge this ride based on its quality, not how many times I've had to ride it. With all that said, let's get into the review. Batman is a lot. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's surprisingly similar to an RMC, which is strange coming from B&M. It features a bunch of quick elements taken back to back. Everything happens so quickly. Drop, loop, 0G roll, loop, helix, turn, corkscrew, turn, breathe. The element of intensity is unique to inverts for as far as B&Ms go. We often look at other rides like wind coasters and trash on them because of their lack of intensity. Same with dive coasters. For the most part, B&Ms are pretty forceless. They might be fun, but they lack the balls to the walls intensity of an RMC or Intamin. The invert changed that. For this review, I'll be taking a look at the world's first B&M invert at my home park, Six Flags Great America. This ride doesn't have the height as it's only 100 feet tall and it has a shorter drop because of a bathroom that the park was too lazy to move. Also, it's only 50 miles an hour. The stats are okay, but definitely not great. However, this proves that stats are not everything. This is in my top 5 at Great America, a park with 17 coasters. The only coasters better are Max, Goliath, Bolt, and Viper. I briefly want to discuss how this ride got me to become a coaster enthusiast. Well, partly. Let me explain. I was just bored one day and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna ride a roller coaster. I had been afraid, but to be frank, I was just bored. That's why I tried it. And by the way, we had passes because we loved Hurricane Harbor as a family. Anyway, I go and I ride Superman in X-Flight. Later that year, I built up the courage to ride Batman, and that one ride blew me away. Flinging around and feeling all those G-forces was crazy, and I was hooked. One thing led to another, now I'm a coaster enthusiast. Anyway, I also want to talk about the name. I love it. People trash on Six Flags for going with superhero themes, but I really dig it. Plus, the ride is super intense, like Batman. So, theming? But seriously, I love the theme. Batman. Yeah, I definitely prefer Marvel, but Batman is just so iconic. I also want to pose the question, why are these rides disliked? Yeah, it's cloned, but that shouldn't matter. So what? Terran is being cloned and no one cares. To be fair, it's at some random Chinese park and it won't have the level of theming as Terran. But still, I don't see why it's hated. I personally don't care about clones. Just as long as it's not a bad ride, I will probably like it. I don't care if it's cloned, but like I said, it has to be a good clone, not a boomerang. Let's get into the ride layout. You ascend the lift hill and get a pretty good view of X-Flight, but it doesn't last too long. You plunge down your drop, getting a healthy dose of positive G's. This drop has super nice whip at the top. The G-force is consistently strong through the entirety of the loop. I remember that one ride the G-force was so strong I thought all the blood in my feet would make my feet burst open. It's weird to describe, but it almost hurts there's so much blood on your feet. I've never grayed out, like at all, in my life, but right here, there have been some times where I've seen spots in my vision. You then curve up, stall for a bit, and then completely whip over. This is my favorite inversion of all time. Nothing beats a B&M invert 0G roll. The snap is unlike anything. You drop back down to the ground for another great loop. Let me tell ya, these loops are so intense, but that pales in comparison to the helix. This helix is nuts. You curve out of the loop and snap to the left and get pulled up and around super quickly. It's over before you realize you're in it. You just snap into it and then curve out of it. It happens so quickly. But the G-force at the climax of the element is unbelievable. It's not Montu's Batwing good, but it's pretty darn good. I also love the near misses with the supports. It gets me every time. I always have to put my feet up. You twist out of the helix and hit a pause in the ride. It's so strange going from super intense positive G's to track that is practically straight. You twist back around and prepare for the first of 2 corkscrews. You slant up and swiftly whip upside down. It's so quick and sudden. You hit a valley, go through a really good overbank, and hit another corkscrew. These corkscrews aren't perfect, but they are still some of my favorites. The snap is so intense. You finally glide over a pond and snap into the brakes. This is where I snap my seatbelt over and over and over until my friends are screaming at me to stop.
Hey guys, we need 1,000 clicks. 1,000 clicks, I'm stopping at 1,000.
These rides are so overhated, it's honestly unnecessary. I love these clones so much. These are by far my favorite clones. However, I haven't ridden a Raptor, which I'm sure is better. However, the only reason I think it's better is just because, well, it's an RMC. And that twisted hill looks mental. In general, these rides are so much fun. They're not for everyone as they're stupid intense, but if you like intensity, this is right up your alley. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content just like this. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.